Actually, started at 6. Actually.
Okay, so then they were there for the music.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna sit over here. That's yours too. Okay.
Do we have a mic for? Will we need a mic for Matt or no?
Yes.
Okay.
No, he's.
Yeah, it's for you. Yeah,
He's got one.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I would switch if that would be easier.
Maybe he could, when Matt comes in here, he can sit here because he can walk behind the camera.
Yeah, would that be better? You want?
Yeah.
I can sit there.
Huh?
At least you'll have a mic right in front.
See,
Oh.
It could be better if Matt's sitting in the middle.
Matt sitting in the middle. Okay.
No, we got estamos en vivo ya.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Here we were actually dancing, you know. It's such a beautiful Monday. We're right here in Arlington, Texas, the capital of sports, entertainment, you name it. You got it here in Arlington, Texas. What a great place. And we are here live on radio, metroplex.net. How about that? Hi. We are here with a great group here. We're here with the CEO, Angel Martinez. Hey! We're here with Herb, Captain Americas.
Captain Americas.
Oh, yes, with an S.
With an S.
I don't fight crime. I just do business development. I stay on the safe side. And we're here with our co-host today. Introduce yourself.
Very honored to be here. We've done this show with you now a couple times, and every time we're here, we just have such a great time, and I love being able to interact with your audience and with your crew and with you guys. I think there's just so much value that we're able to provide. But my name is Andre. I'm an entrepreneur in the financial services industry out in Carrollton, and just an honor to be with you guys here today. Looking forward to a good time.
Well, we are very honored to have you.
Well, thank you.
And we always like to start out with good news. Of course, we've got Gloria Monsiváis, our production manager. She's over there watching the time and clock and
keeping us on straight and narrow.
Get straight here. Okay, yeah, we're here. But anyway, the big thing is, of course, we had a Dallas Cowboy game.
Mm-hmm.
Did we? Some of us don't want to acknowledge it.
So I don't know what happened. I got to be honest.
Cowboys lost.
Did they? I assumed. I figured that.
They lost to who did the Cowboys lose to?
The Suns, St. Louis.
Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But I heard it was close. I saw the highlights. So I came home last night. I watched the highlights, and it was a back and forth game.
It was.
Yes.
It was a good game. It just the Cardinals got the winning score, but North Texas Soccer Club played yesterday and they won.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Austin. The last two derbies win the Houston first and the Austin yesterday.
Wow, and it was a good game. It was a little bit warm, but had some rain, didn't it?
Yeah. The last around 68, 69 minutes.
Yeah.
So the later 50 minutes, no. Almost 8:39 p.m. Finished the game with what?
There was delay of the game because of the rain.
And people were going like, "What's that coming from the sky?"
Yeah, right.
Is that called rain? And of course, when you've been, thank you.
Hey, how we doing?
Hey. Hey, man, how are you doing, buddy?
We have a surprise today, so we'll be getting ready to announce that.
We're talking about the fabulous Cowboy game, and gosh, Matt's like, what are we doing?
And the horrible Bears game.
And we're talking about North Texas Soccer Club here in Choctaw Casino. They won 3-1.
No, Choctaw Stadium, not casino.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Now you know where my mind was. Okay, the stadium, not the casino, okay? And we're here live at radiometroplex.net. And here we have a great show for you. I'm surrounded by superstars. I mean, I can't believe this. I can feel it, I got Andre, and now I got Matt.
All right. Great to be here, man.
And let me tell you, I can tell you that I am extremely honored because if you're watching the show today, the energy, the power what this gentleman can do is unbeatable. So Matt, I'm so happy that you're here.
For sure, honored to be here. Andre asked me, I said, no problem, let's do it. Let's spread our entrepreneurial gospel.
There you go. And we're gonna let each one introduce themselves. And let me tell you, it is fabulous. Andre,
Yeah, so as a matter what I'll do, I had a brief opportunity to kind of introduce myself just a little bit ago to your audience, but I am truly honored now to be able to introduce to your audience somebody that's just been an inspiration in my life. You know, they say, you know, people tend to come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And, you know, my wife and I, we relocated out here to the Dallas area about 2 years ago. And, you know, I was a firefighter, paramedic in Florida. You know, so Florida's where I called home. We relocated out here to Dallas. You remember that? Yeah. So I came out here 2 years ago to Dallas, and I was really unsure of what it is I wanted to do or what I was going to do. And I was introduced to a conversation by a friend of mine. His name is Carmine. Introduced me to an opportunity within the financial services industry. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I was like, you know, I'm new here. I don't really know anybody. I would love to start, you know, establishing my network of people out here in Dallas. And 2 years ago, I ended up in a room in a meeting, and I met somebody who would really turned out to be an instrumental person in my life, not just in business, but in my personal life. He's a mentor, he's a coach. I've had the opportunity now and honor to work side by side with this gentleman for the next 2 years. And it's not every day like somebody that comes into your life and like almost instantaneously changes and alters the course of your life. This is somebody who I've watched develop other people that come into our circle into leaders. I'm a better man. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. I'm a better friend. I'm a better businessman. My entire life has been forever changed because of the influence in the circle of people I've been able to make here in Dallas, Texas. And at the top of that very list is somebody that's very dear to me, my coach, my mentor. There are three instances in my life that I said that I'll never ever forget. The first one was the day I met my wife. The second one was the day I met my daughter. And the third one is when I met the gentleman sitting to your right, Max Apollo. So without further ado, I would love to introduce to you my coach, my friend, my business partner, Matthew Sapolo.
And Andre, the vice versa, brother. It's great to have you in our lives. And yes.
You know, it's so fabulous because I got to go to a meeting where you were presenting.
Yeah.
And when I left.
The veterans, right?
Yes.
Right.
It was, I was so inspired. I mean, I'm like, who is this guy? I mean, he's got me going here. But Matt, your speech was great, and I'm gonna pardon me. I'm gonna go to my bag real quick because I've got something that means a lot to me.
Sure.
Oh, appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you, bro.
Herb's digging into his bag of tricks here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a surprise.
Well. Anyway,
you inspired him to go dig, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's digging deep in that bag.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, I'm sorry to announce that I can't find. I've got his book, an autographed, signed book by Matt, and I think I've left it in the car. I never want to lose it, so it's guarded in my car.
I brought another one for your listeners. So
good.
If you want to give one away. Yeah.
But this was so awesome, Matt. I've read it 3 times.
Wow.
And it's really good. And I love turning the page and seeing your autograph.
Direct from the source.
I'm like, see? I do know him. I did talk to him. But that is so right. But, Matt, it's amazing when I look at your story. I guess when we had the veterans meeting.
Wow, okay.
And I saw a picture of you on a helicopter.
You guys did some research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yep, that's Matt. Fearless.
Yeah.
Always right there. And I think I love veterans, you know, and I just can see when I see a veteran doing what you're doing, it makes us so proud because you guys if it weren't for you guys, a lot of us wouldn't have this freedom. We wouldn't be where we are. So thank you for
Absolutely.
serving our country
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
doing what you did.
I wish I didn't enlist because of honor. I enlisted because I needed a job. And it turned out to be something that I really got into. You know, I was 17 years old. I turned 18 in boot camp, and after my first deployment, after just being able to wear the uniform, just having that pride of marching the parade deck and graduating as a United States Marine, going part of our deployment, wearing that uniform, having an American patch on your shoulder representing America to other countries, and you know, there's a lot of pride in that. And so I discovered that pride, you know, in it, not before it. So, you know, like I said earlier, I was just looking for a way out of Chicago.
Well, the good thing, and I'm proud to say, you're a Marine.
Yes.
That's not easy.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends were in the Air Force, so they ate in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
We in the dirt. You got Air Force guys eating the aeronautical dining facility. Marines at the chow hall.
And my dad is an Air Force veteran, so I kid him a lot. I said, "But Dad, you ate in the cafeteria?" Because of course.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so great. So tell me what drives you, what moves you. I mean, I'm really excited to have you here.
You know, if it's, you know, on the service standpoint of things, you know, what drove me in the military was not. I got in there for a paycheck, but I realized it was a lot more than that. And so there's a lot of things that a Marine would do because our paycheck was only $850 every 2 weeks. As a sergeant in the Marines, that was my military salary. I bring home $850 every 2 weeks, and that was after me volunteering for hazardous duty, you know, for another $150 extra a month. So $75 every 2 weeks. You know, to go fly, put yourself in further harm's way. And so a lot of military service members would know what I'm talking about. Whether you have wings, we have a scuba bell, or they have different, you know, badges across your chest that signify that. We looked at that as a pay raise. But what drives me today is still service, because I'm grateful and thankful that I have a business that has an impact in the community in terms of financial literacy and life insurance and retirement planning and financial freedom. A lot of those things that a lot of people want, they just don't know how to get there. And as soon as I see people's eyeballs get like this, you know, I could do that. I could do that when we uncover strategies that people can do. You know, that's what drives me. And to realize that a lot of people are just unaware. And a lot of people make bad decisions because they're just unaware. And when they make the awareness known, then they want to get educated. Then they want to implement that education to create positive things in their life.
And that means a lot, because it's like you said, a lot of people make mistakes. It's just because they didn't know. Lack of information, lack of somebody they can trust to guide them, you know. And I know that's what you do, and that's what you do, Andre. And that's beautiful.
Because there's a lot more men like Andre that's out there, good men, salt of the earth men, providers, protectors. They deserve a shot. And why would he want to become a better dad? Why wouldn't he become a better man?
You're right.
You know,
I mean, and the freedom to get there is here.
If, of course.
I mean, This is what's so good about it. If you want to get ahead, you can do it. If you want to get very rich, you can do it in this country.
That's right.
And so this is what I learned from your speech. That's what the inspiration was, that, you know, you're with a team, you know.
Yeah.
And you can trust them. It's like being in the military. That next soldier to you,
yeah,
I mean, he could be your life. He could save your life. He could protect your life.
That's right.
And that's kind of what I saw there. Everybody's like one unit, you know. Like,
that's right.
You know,
together we're better.
And don't mess with us. I learned that too.
You take one of us and you take us all on. That's right.
One for all and all for one.
That's right.
Know? So there's no messing around here. But the thing is that financial, it's so important, and especially now that we're seeing a shift in the population. Latinos are now the largest community in Texas, and they're the ones that really need to step it up. You know, we can't have a new majority group that's making less money than the last majority. Yeah. So we got to step it up, and we're all on the team together to make sure that happens, because this country, this state of Texas, and this country's got to go up, never down. Don't you agree?
I mean, when you're looking at the Latino population, you have people that immigrated here, and then you have the next generation that was born here, and then those generations having their kids. So you have second, third, fourth generation Latino that's coming in. It's in Texas, and I'm from Chicago, so there's a lot of Latino in Chicago.
Oh, yes.
And you got coming down, then there's Tex-Mex, right? And so,
right.
and so, you know, if you want to improve your generation, it's okay. Can I start with mine? Because when you're looking at your life, if somebody splashed some cash and or at least pointed you in the right direction to have a better life, whether opportunities in career, finance, whatever it is that you're looking to do, if you had somebody introduce you, it'd make that process a whole lot easier. You know, for example, like you ever have a friend at Walmart says, "Man, bro, you got a job at Walmart? Cool. Can you give me an interview? Give me a job there." That's the same way people are in business.
Yeah.
You start a business, show me how to start a business. Because people just need an introduction. And most businesses, most impactful things that people do in their life is because somebody introduced them to that situation.
That is really true.
The flip side is true too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are alcoholics and drug users because their friend introduced them to it.
That's a good point. I agree with
If
that.
you're going to be addicted, at least be addicted to business.
If you're going to get addicted to anything, let it be business, right? I mean, right now, even the business world after the pandemic has changed. You know, you're looking at the fact that we were without diapers, we were without baby formula, we were without toilet papers. Hey, don't do that again. You know, and a lot of things that we just take for granted got affected. So now we're in a big motion to say we learned from that. We got to make sure it doesn't happen again. And so that is something that, and I'll later introduce what we're doing with the Chamber of Commerce, because the Chamber of Commerce is just a connection, a visibility, especially a connection tool. We're going to introduce you to people like I've got right here. We're going to introduce you to Angel Martinez, CEO of radio station, how to get the visibility, how to make connections. And folks, if we can all work together, we can achieve the biggest wins and goals, everything. But if we can't win, it's got to be like the Marines. When they come in, don't mess with them. All of them. None of them are going to bail out on you. They're going to come right in. So let's take a good example from Matt about the Marines, because they don't back down. Did you ever see a Marine back down?
No, I mean it's a challenge. It's an excitement to see things, and we encourage you that we want to push each other forward. And, if there's something we can do together and unite together and work towards together, it's a lot more fun that way.
Oh, magic! Now I see your picture on a helicopter. What's that like? I mean, for a lot of us that have never been on a Hawk.
Yeah. Well, I every time I'm stuck in traffic, I'm like, "Where's my Black Hawk?" Oh man, I can't wait.
If I had my Black Hawk right now.
Like Andre, I mean, you flew over helicopters, just with airlifting people, right?
I did.
You bypass all that traffic.
So when I was a flight medic, I had the distinction of lifeguard. So, when you have call signs in the air, you had call signs when you were flying your missions. When you're a lifeguard, you take precedent over the airwaves. The only other aircraft in the air that will supersede that is Air Force One. Right?
Oh, really?
So when you're a lifeguard flight, you go right to the front of the line. So when you're at O'Hare or you're at Miami International or you're at Fort Lauderdale Executive and you see that like 20 plane line deep waiting all to depart, as soon as we loaded our patient into the aircraft and got on with ATC and said lifeguard 444 Whiskey Bravo, we would get onto the runway, go to the end of the runway, turn around and take off. So it's yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine with your Black Hawk on I-30
Yes.
5 o'clock.
Get right there. By the way, did you hear about that new FAA approval in California? So a new flying car selling for $300,000 is now taking pre-orders.
Really?
Yeah, flying cars are going to be released by 2025.
Can land themselves.
Yeah. 100-mile radius.
I saw. Yep, I saw that. It's crazy.
I'm buying one, man. Let me get that car. Because talk about business, you got to think about things also that rob you of time and efficiency.
Really?
And to me, that's what traffic does.
I'll be right behind you.
That's it. Flying trailer. Right? Boom.
Now here's my question: on flying cars, are you gonna have parachutes?
Imagine. By the way, that's a good question. Like everything that comes out first always has its kinks, has its quirks. Imagine people just just falling down. They ran out of gas. Yeah, that'd probably be me. They ran out of cars always at E, just flying out the sky.
I'm like, no, you ran out of gas. Time to bail up.
Probably some safety feature you put on there that automatically land.
Yeah, no, there are. So it's funny because, one of the ways I even got introduced into Matt, I worked for the fire department for over 20 years, and we only worked 9-10 days a month. So I had a lot of spare time. So I was always looking to do something in my spare time. And one of the things that I ended up taking up was when drones first came out and they were exciting to own, I bought a drone just because I wanted a drone. Well, what happens is 6 months after you own a drone, it's like, okay, now I just own a drone. Now what? I started a business. I started an aerial photography business with my drone. I pitched it to real estate agents. I did a little research, found that if your home has aerial photography, it'll sell for 65% faster on the FLS. You can sell it for 38% more if you have aerial photography.
FLS, the MLS.
On the FLS.
I got you, bro.
See, my mind automatically goes to financial lifestyle strategies. Yeah, so the MLS, yeah. That's funny. It took me a long time to transition from saying patients to clients. So you got to know for me. I spent the majority of my life in the medical world.
You can also do a show. We were at Cedar Hill. My daughter did that Latin Fest, and they had a beautiful drone show. They even did the state of Texas, and they put a star where Dallas is.
Yeah.
And they did the zip code for Cedar Hill.
It's crazy what they can do now.
All coordinated together.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
So
what we saw was the drone kind of shows are better than the fireworks.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because they had
more environmentally friendly.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
because we
No
went
fire
to
hazard.
one 4th of July. There were drones, and they showed General Washington on a boat crossing with American flag waving.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You can't do that with a firework.
And I'm like, and then in Cedar Hill, they drew state of Texas in a dot, and they said there's Cedar Hill.
Yeah.
And then they put the zip code, and I'm like, okay, but things you cannot do.
And at the end, you see them all filing in and then just kind of falling down. It's
Yeah.
really neat.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot you can do with it.
I told Gloria, I said, I want one.
There's a movie out there by what's the not Gladiator, 300. Who's that actor?
I just watched a movie that Gerard Butler.
So there's a movie called Olympus Has Fallen, how Washington D.C. fell, and you see all the different drone attacks. So there's a weaponization factor of those drones.
Well, look at Ukraine.
Yeah, exactly.
They blew up the Russian strategic something
Through drones.
naval thing.
Yeah.
All drones.
Yeah. So the pretty thing that you're showing you, I'm looking at it thinking, that's a freaking weapon.
The mind of a Marine.
Yeah, exactly.
My fear is that it's going to be the IRS, and they're going to follow me to the bank and say, you do have money.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm joking, of course, it could happen, but the drones are going to change us.
It is.
They changed the military.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, Ukraine is.
I can't wait to see Amazon using drones to deliver packages.
They tried.
It's definitely going to happen.
They tried already.
Yeah.
In California, they're actually delivering.
Yeah.
They're delivering with drones. And so
Mushy.
So
it's the White House. So I'll call you back. But
Speaking of drones.
But it's kind of interesting how it's happening. And then you look at the fact of how technology changes things. Now you got artificial intelligence. Now you got all these new things coming up. And I was reading about the writer's strike, and they said, we want a clause that you're not going to use artificial intelligence. And I got bad news for you.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's here to stay.
Yep, sure
And
is.
it's going to change a lot of how we do business and all that. And when I'm not doing the chamber, I'm a technology person. I'm with Microsoft Intel. I've seen artificial intelligence. I'm like, whoa. We're still at the tip of the iceberg with
But that's a great observation because, like you said, you see it. it's here. There's no way to stop it. It's like saying, hey, we should have shut down the internet just to keep all the libraries open, right?
Yeah.
So it's here. So the benefit of being in proximity of other leaders and being in an environment where you have high performers, high achievers, people that are constantly trying to push and pull, get everybody to the next level, being in that environment helps to prepare you for the introduction of AI versus trying to keep it at bay. The person that's trying to keep it in bay, saying, hey, keep us out of it, it's not the person that's innovating and thinking about how can we use this to our advantage. When you get into a business environment and you surround yourself with other high performers and innovators, now it's like, how do we use this to our advantage? How do we use this to better our business? How do I use this to better serve my clients? How do I use this to better build my business? So I just think it's a pivotal thing. Like you're not going to be able to have control over everything. It's how can we best roll the punches?
Is correct. Microsoft is in it. Google is in it. Amazon just invested $4 billion in another one. It's not going to go away.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
It's just like you said. How are you going to use it? How is it going to affect you? How can you be better using it? And that's really a lot of being in the places you guys are. You're going to have to integrate it somehow.
Sure.
I mean, it's not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think it is, I got a bridge in New York City, I'll tell you, and I don't even own it, So it's one of those things where you have to adjust.
Right.
Businesses have to adjust to what is going. So pretty soon we got self-driving cars to some end. They're testing the self-driving freight trucks now. So, it's like, folks, the good part is when I get to 90, they're not going to take the car away from me because now I can just tell the car where I want to go.
Right.
So they're pluses,
Yeah.
And I go, okay, take me to Wendy's or Whataburger. I don't have to worry about losing my license and driving. So there's pluses to everything.
Sure.
But now we're going to talk about something that you guys like, financial. What's the secret? I like that. What is the driving force for financial?
In terms of acquiring it, or what?
How can we, with a shift in population, with all this technology, you guys are going to impact because you're still going to get old. You still have to have security for yourself.
So how to have finance for longevity?
Yeah. And that's what interests me a lot because I'm like, okay, now you've got, and I'll explain about our summit. The hemisphere is going to change with the global supply chain going over here. We're not gonna. Pretty soon, we're gonna be a Western hemisphere with our borders. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, let's not empower enemies, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's coming, folks.
Yeah, well, the secret to answer your question, the secret of finance, I mean, it's blood. I mean, you need money. Money's going to operate certain. You need currency. That's why it's currency. There's current in that word currency. So to be more specific to your question in terms of finance, what's the secret? I mean, you got to find ways to make sure you constantly have money coming in from a perspective of I got to provide. I got to have access for my family and children to have food and education, basic necessities of life. I think the downside for a lot of people is they have this conversation a little too late. So they buy. People don't buy what they need; they buy what they want. For example, Beyonce's coming to town, right? Yeah. She's throwing a concert right there. At AT&T. We're looking at AT&T Stadium right now.
Right there.
Right. Taylor Swift came into town. Both of those ladies have created $1 billion revenue for their tours. Good for them. But the challenge is when I see things like that. The flip side is who really benefits from concerts and entertainment? It's the entertainers. It's the production company. Let's say I'm a fan. I go to her concert. You know what those tickets cost?
Yes. Some of my relatives went.
How much were they? Did I tell you?
One of them paid $1,500
for a ticket.
For one ticket.
To be entertained.
And they went to 2 shows.
And you're in business, right? You're the Chamber of Commerce. So you go show people how to go business. There's so many businesses that you can start with $1,500. But people would rather go to AT&T Stadium for 4 hours to be entertained. Wake up the next morning, life is still the same.
Tickets.
$3,000.
$3,000.
And yet we're living paycheck to paycheck. Yet we want the government to pay off for student loans. You want the government to do this, to do that. Yet we're spending $1,500 for a ticket to be entertained for 4 hours, just for lives to be the same the next day. By the way, that's the secret right there. People don't like that answer because I sound like an old man and dad and uncle, big brother trying to tell. But that's the reality because now you're going to come to me for money.
Well, see, I see Taylor Swift on YouTube. I don't have to put $1,500.
But then again, there's a different. People want the experience, right?
I want the experience of being there. I mean,
Yeah.
I do it, but still, $3,000.
Whether you're there or watching online, you have to ask yourself this question: what's the outcome of that? What do you want? I mean, I've been through that phase too as well. And I never went to a concert growing up. I went to a concert because I was invited to one. Remember, I was invited to one because the insurance company I was working together with, they say, hey, you want to come to our skybox at the Soldier Field? Come watch Coldplay. Oh, I don't know. I know one song from Coldplay, which is Clocks. That's it. So I saw the concert. Cool, awesome entertainment. And I'm thinking to myself, these people pay how much to come to this ticket for this place to get tickets? Same thing with Super Bowl. I mean, just to be entertained.
And Matt,
And you're screaming out the other side of your mouth because you're broke.
Taylor Swift outperformed the Super Bowl.
Good for her. By the way, good for her.
I mean,
I'm glad for her.
It's for her
a
pocket
young
too.
lady outperformed the Super Bowl. That tells you where the young people mentality is.
Mm-hmm. By the way, everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
I see 50, 60, 70 still people going through that phase. So that's an age thing. It's can we get real with life? When are you going to have that conversation? When do you realize? And here's the thing too as well. A lot of folks today, they find it okay to depend on other people.
Oh yeah.
Whether you're regardless of what age, I'm okay that you pay my bills. I don't know, man. That's just part of me that just never settled that I'm dependent. My livelihood, my ability to live and operate is dependent on the graces of somebody else.
And this is what I see from what you guys do, is you learn to be on your own.
You're right. Be independent.
Okay.
Call your own shots.
I tell the young folks, because right now with our chamber, I've got Gen X, millennials, Gen Zs, and then we've got baby boomers, and God bless them, because they get lost with my younger people. So it's so funny because the baby boomers do like this when they're on the phone, and the younger ones are like.
By the way, and to the baby boomer, why aren't you learning new skills?
And I tell you, and I see it a lot, where the kids take over their lives and make them liquidate, and downsize, and everything.
Right.
And I'm like, that's one thing you shouldn't do. You move them from a $3,000, $4,000 home to a small 800 square foot apartment. They're not going to exercise. They don't have a backyard. They don't let them, as long as they can, keep them moving. I mean, that's just my theory. As soon as you confine them and they're going to be sitting watching TV, you're gonna mess up their bodies.
And by the way, that's the biggest myth and misconception we run across, that people think they're going to retire and sit behind a couch. Get a remote. What a worse way to end your life.
I know.
In that regard.
I don't.
You spend your whole entire life going to church, raising a family, being a net positive to society, where you're creating jobs, you're getting promoted, you're creating value in the economy, and then just to sit home and do nothing. To me, that's the fallacy of money.
And you're so right, because it's like Steve Jobs. I was in a meeting and he said, if you don't like what you're doing, why are you doing it? I mean, if you don't love what you're doing, why are you doing it? Because you're not going to be good at it. And those kind of things, they stick with you. And this is what we're trying to do with Latinos. They got to realize you can't take a back seat anymore. You're going to have to step it up. You're going to have to run for office. You're going to have to.
Please do.
You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do the things that a lot of times you were not doing. Now you got to step it up. Or you're going to be a large group with no voice. And that can happen. So we're going to be working on business people, because right now, as a chamber, we see when you're looking at businesses opening, restaurants, you'll get about 17 restaurants open. 12 of them are Latino restaurants open. And I'm like, the thing is, how long are they staying in business? Because they didn't know, or they didn't have support, or they didn't have the finances. They didn't know you could use your life insurance. A lot of things. If you're a small business, don't go to the bank. You're not gonna. You're not gonna.
By the way, I never applied for. I've been in business for 24 years, made hundreds of millions of dollars of value in business of created over 24 years. I've never once used an SBA loan.
Really?
Never. I've always self-capitalized.
And that's great.
Because I don't want to be beholden to a bank. They're going to try to tell me how to apply for pay back on their terms, et cetera, et cetera. I rather made my money, saved my money, ready for it to be capitalized. So therefore, when I'm ready to make a big decision, I make the choice. Not a bank saying, yeah, you can use our money. Then, I'm getting control. No. In Proverbs, it says that the debtor is servant to a lender. I don't want to be servant to nobody.
All the time.
Nobody.
That is a truism. If you borrowed money, the lender owns you.
PPP loan. We never took the PPP loan. We created jobs. Matter of fact, I think we qualified for that if you kept everybody employed. That credit. What's that credit they're talking about right now? I can't remember. But it's a credit if you kept your employees employed and you didn't lay them off during COVID.
And you could have forgiven most of your loan with it.
Yeah, correct. And so there's a tax credit we qualify for. But I mean, even that, we're not. Listen, government, just stay on my way. a little involved outside of a bully entering our neighborhood. We don't want government involvement.
Well, there are different facets. Apple started with an SBA loan, but it's not your regular loan. They have something like I call it like the Mark Cuban show. What is it?
Oh,
Shark
Shark
Tank?
Tank.
Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a Shark Tank. You go before investors,
Sure.
but it's not a loan. So there's different divisions of the government that you don't get that thing. It's the divisions that you don't know.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care for government involvement in my business. I'm not looking for the government to borrow from. I'm looking for the government to stand my way and protect my ability to create a livelihood. So therefore, I'm a net positive to America, not leaning on America.
I think so many people underestimate the power of what you just said, because prior to getting into business for myself, I work for the fire department. My wife worked for corporate America. We'd done 6 figures in business prior to coming here. But when we made our first 6 figures in this business on our own as entrepreneurs, it's a very, very different conversation. And you learn to appreciate things in a different way. When you make your first $100,000 on your own and nobody else helped you like you did, that's your business. You had coaching, you had mentorship, you had guidance, you're in an environment, you're in a net positive arena with and you do that on your own. And the best part about it, Herb, is, as a firefighter, paramedic, if I run into you on the street and you and I have a conversation, you're like, man, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. It sounds like an amazing life. And it was. But you got to go through 2 years of paramedic school. You got to go through 6 months of the fire academy. Then you got to go fight 800 people for one position to go try to get a job. How many people could I bring along on that journey with me? In entrepreneurship and with this opportunity, like anybody I run it, like anybody can do it. So I love, they say success is measured by the value you bring to yourself, but significance is measured by the value you bring to others. And that's what I love about our platform. Is how much significance can I provide to other people, and how many other people can we bring on this journey and just help them get out of there's a financial war happening outside here.
Oh yes.
People are hurting. They're looking for an opportunity. Yes. You probably have listeners right now that are listening saying, like, what can I do? I did everything right? I did everything I was supposed to do. Right? I went to school, I got good grades, I got a good job. And here I am. I get out of college. I got $100,000 worth of student loan debt to only get a job that's going to pay me $40,000, $50,000 a year. It doesn't make any sense. But what have we all been told? So I know there's people listening right now going, man, I did everything. I was supposed to do. I went to school. I got good grades. I got a good job, but I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. If there was just an opportunity that I can connect with somebody where I know there's something beyond what I've been told. That's the most rewarding thing about
Like
this.
Andre this morning, I was just showing one of the guys because I was showing my YouTube channel, right? And Bobby didn't even know how to process it,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
So because I showed him this is what YouTube pays me to have my own YouTube channel, right? And he's like, "Is that from Instagram?" Bobby, it's from YouTube. But I don't understand. It's like he doesn't understand that social media can actually pay you for creating content. Stuff that we do already, like this, right? That you're already doing. Social media pay because the net positive to them is that on your show they can advertise.
That's right.
But he doesn't know that. And he didn't know how to process it. So there's so many different, for less than a third of going to a Taylor Swift concert, a third than the cost of going to a Beyonce ticket, right? Got for those tickets. You can start your own business, start making 6 figures, 7 figures.
Now, you just said something that I think a lot of listeners are going to go, what? YouTube pays you? You know, it's
Facebook pays you, Meta pays you. Yes.
Like,
yeah.
What? You know, and this is how we learn from each other. I mean, if you didn't know that, now you know it.
Yeah.
It's financial.
Be in those conversations.
Like you said, I want to be on my own. I want to control my own income, my own finances. I don't want anybody telling me. I don't want the bank owning me, you know, and a lot of this stuff. And that's a truism. A lot of businesses don't want that because it will affect you. I mean, so in my company, which is a technology company, I kind of think like you. I've got no loans, nothings. And we made our money just by good salesmanship, good connections.
Great referrals.
You
do a good job. People talk about you.
And the chamber has been a terrific asset for my thing because I get an unlimited sales force. So it's a lot of those things that you learn and say, okay, what is good for you? Because people follow things that they think they should be doing. And this is awesome and that was beautiful when you said, you know, YouTube pays you. Yeah, Facebook pays you because it's content. And they don't know that.
I mean, people think they're just doing dance videos. I mean, as much as you might laugh at these kids doing it, YouTube and Meta and even TikTok is paying them to do stupid videos.
I know one kid. He's making $200,000 a year
for doing toy reviews and gaming videos and all these different things.
No, from following and doing funny stuff. I'm like $200,000 a year for that. I'll go fall.
And that's the funny irony, though. The irony. What society will reward. Yeah.
But you know, it's funny you say that. You know what I immediately think of? Like, think about what you just said. There's somebody right now that's making $200,000 off social media for doing stupid things, whatever. So what does that tell you? That means that those videos is getting contact. They're getting eyeballs, and people are watching, so they're getting on the algorithm and more. So what does that tell you? People are consuming that information because they're trying to escape their reality. That's how I process that. Because if you were in a spot in your life where you're winning and everything's going right and you're loving, you wouldn't be spending all that time watching those videos and wasting that time. You'd be out there going to go try find a life or somebody to go impact. So what is that? That's how I process it. So I hear that I'm going, I got work to do. There are people out there that are just so ingratiated, just trying to find content that they could watch, that they could find a reason to laugh, a reason to smile, a reason to have some joy in their life because they're looking for something that they just can't seem to find. That's the only explanation to why somebody's making $200,000 on YouTube for tripping.
And he's 19.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old. I'm like, what?
And people looking at it all side-eyed. But to your point, he got something that people want to watch and that the social media companies want to advertise on to get eyeballs. Yeah. But the downside for a lot of people looking at that would be like, well, they do that, I'm not doing it. It's going to force you to improve. That's the part that a lot of people don't want to hear. I got to get better. I have to improve. This money's not going to come to me in the same condition mentally that I am in right now. Regardless if you agree with their content or not. They're getting money, you're not. If you want to get money, secret to success in finance, you have to improve.
Facts.
You can't stay the same person you are today. If you want to have a great life, you don't get there with good habits.
No, and that's a good point because CBS, when they became members of the chamber, every time we met was how many eyeballs and how many ears.
Don't want to hear.
That's all they wanted to hear. Mm-hmm. We're going to have an event. Good. How many eyeballs? How many ears?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
If you didn't answer that question,
They're not interested.
conversation's
Nope.
over.
Yeah, true.
And that's kind of like what you're saying. It's like those eyeballs are worth a lot of money, and those ears are worth a lot of money. And this is today's world.
If you watch boxing,
Yes.
so there was a big fight. There was Errol Spence, and
Yeah.
right? But one of the best businessmen to watch as of late has been Floyd Mayweather,
Oh yes.
because he understood the power what he brought in terms of driving eyeballs and people see his fights.
Yeah.
So when he did his deal with Showtime, he nixed that deal. So he created his own promotion company. Once he understood the power of his ability to draw attention, he wanted to be the promoter. He didn't want to outsource that to Showtime. I wanted to do it, and because of that, that he's in a massive financial position he is today
Well,
because of controlling those eyeballs.
look at Deion Sanders, coach. of
Oh, for
Colorado.
sure, absolutely.
Did you see what
Yeah.
he did with his one commercial?
His-
$1.2 billion product was bought just because Deion Sanders, coach of Colorado.
well,
And I'm like,
and speaking of that, Colorado signed him to a $28 million deal to coach. And you know what the problem they had is they didn't have the money. They didn't have the money to hire him, but they signed him to a contract. Somehow, some way, we're gonna find the money. And guess what happened? They sold all the tickets.
and they're making the money.
His glasses, not this last game, but the Colorado State game, Colorado versus Colorado State. So the coach over there at Colorado State says, "You know what? I talk to grown-ups. I take off my hat, my glasses. Guess what? My mama raised me." Right.
That's what he
So,
sold.
so he took a shot. He took a shot at Dion,
Yeah.
And
He sold sunglasses.
and so he sold $4 million of glasses that weekend. So that coach helped him out. I hope he gets a Christmas card. But that's the point, though. Whatever bricks people throw your way, you build those. You don't make money by throwing them back. You take those and build an empire out of that. You don't retaliate. You get better.
Deion Sanders is going to make more money than when he was playing for the Cowboys.
For sure.
I mean,
Oh,
marketing.
yeah, I mean,
marketing.
Yeah. Because even then, quarterbacks, when he came into the league, quarterbacks were getting paid any money. It's running backs, quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Not defensive end, not cornerbacks covering wide receivers. So you're right. He's the guy that helped these quarterbacks get paid. But now he's getting paid now.
Boy,
As a-
he is.
as a-
He's really
as a
rocking.
coach.
But we're going to take a little announcement right now. We're going to tell you some great things that are happening. I love going to the different cities. Cedar Hill had their Latin Fest, and we had a lot of fun. They had a show called, they did a tribute to Santana, Shakira, and that young lady that did Shakira was amazing. And then they had Pitbull, and it was a rocky night. We got to see a lot of good vendors and a lot of good things, and it was just a good surrounding, and it was really, really good. You got to realize a few years ago, the Latino population in Cedar Hill was less than 9%. Today, it's over 30% and growing. Grand Prairie, look out. Arlington, Fort Worth, as we say, Latinos are everywhere. And they come in all colors. So you can't just say you're Latino. No, they come blonde, blue-eyed. They come out, in all kinds of colors. That's the beauty of what we're seeing. So what we're doing right now for the Chamber of Commerce is November the 2nd, we're going to have an Investors Trade International Summit. And it's about nearshoring. Have you ever heard of nearshoring?
Nearshoring.
Nearshoring is the shift of the global markets going from the other side of the world to this side.
Instead of offshoring, it's nearshoring.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
And so we've got the people. Now, what's going to happen is we have a trade agreement, used to be called NAFTA, but now it's USMCA. You're going to see open roads between Mexico, US, and Canada. What that means is you're going to have businesses going from there to here. So we're going to have a great increase of businesses between those countries. Eventually, it's going to penetrate all the way to the tip of South America. We're building, right now, they're building freight lines all the way to the end of the southern point of Mexico. Amtrak is now going all the way to Mexico. A lot of big changes. Now, you're going to have a lot of people coming in here which is going to be great for you guys because they got to change. When you're here, you're in America.
Mhm.
When you're in Mexico, you think Mexican. When you're in Canada, you think Canadian. But here's a chance that we're going to grow, that all these people, eventually we got El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Peru, and Panama that's going to be on this thing. The government is spending $4.2 billion expanding this incentive. It's going to decrease poor people trying to cross the borders illegally because now they can stay there and work. They're going to be able to eat. Hopefully, it's a good path. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not. But it's in a good path of going. Eventually, this thing is going to go all the way down to the tip of South America. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking trillions and trillions of dollars of opportunities. But we've got to get to know what it is. We've got to get involved in it. And that's what the summit's going to be. It's going to be November 2nd at the Plano Event Center. We're inviting everybody that wants to participate and get to be knowledgeable. We've got the general councils of the main countries that are in this thing. They will be presenting and introducing their countries. We've got some different areas from Mexico that are booming right now. But when they come to the U.S., they got to think American. Here's big opportunities. I mean, we're talking a big investment. But anyway, we're going to be doing a lot of things. And so remember November 2nd at the Plano Event Center. The website is www.summititi.org. Or you can just call 214-358-6859. That's our chamber foundation, and we can help you out with it. But anyway, we had a lot of good things. We got a lot of big things coming up for the chamber. This last week, we had a huge amount of new members come in, a lot of startups, a lot of companies that had moved in here, and basically a lot of companies that understand that business doesn't stop at the city border. We're a chamber without borders, so we're in Frisco, we're in anywhere you want to follow business, we're there. So anyway, that's my announcement for the chamber. Gloria, do you have anything to announce? Any events come? Oh, the Small Business Expo coming up October.
Yes, October 12th at the Hampton Inn Grand Ballroom in Mesquite from 10 to 5 on October 12th.
A lot of good businesses coming in. We have a booth there, so Watch America's Chamber will be there. And we'll be announcing more events. Right now I'm teaming up with all the international groups and everything to bring in. And I had a great time. We spent some time in Miami and had some Cuban food. And
Your old stomping grounds.
Oh, my old stomping grounds. Yeah.
I'm like, why am I going back? It was so wonderful.
Yeah.
But the weather was perfect. It was really enjoyable. And my wife being born in Cuba, we become Cubans for the day. I was over there going, "Oye, chico, ¿qué pasó?" But anyway, thanks. But Matt, how do you see the future? Because you're a man of great vision.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see?
Well, in the words of my mentor, future looks bright. For those that are willing to improve.
There you go.
Those are willing to have capacity to be around people with vision, because the thing with America is, how big are you thinking? How big are you wanting to grow? Because during tough times, during crisis, is when the seeds of the next generation multimillionaires and decamillionaires and heptamillionaires are born. And so I wasn't thinking that way for a while. I was just looking for a paycheck and looking for ways to get better at the rat race. But once I started understanding how money can work for me and the benefits of doing so, and how you feel empowered as a man, as a provider, as a protector, the future does look bright. And if you're working hard right now, you understand your system and you're profitable, as we mentioned during the show, if you're a net positive to society, you found a problem that a lot of people are facing, but they don't know how to solve that problem, and you create a business around providing solutions. For those that understand how to constantly do that, you'll always have income coming your way. You'll always have revenue coming your way, because life gives to the givers, takes from the takers, It has a very accurate accounting system. So be a giver.
And I'm so proud of his book. Do you have your book?
I do.
Yeah. Could we share it? I mean, I am so proud.
An author should always have their book, right?
I was hoping you had I had mine, but I think I was guarding it, and I think I left it in my car.
You know, and honestly, too, like this book, just for the average person that's just looking to get some information on how you can level up financially, some basic systems and processes that you can put in place in your life, some concepts that you can immediately implement to improve. You know, like Coach was just saying, for those that are willing to improve, there are so many strategies in this book that'll help you get there. It's you know, everybody that comes into my business on my team into getting ready to get you on your financial journey.
No, and it's really awesome. And here's the book, folks. Let me tell you, you want to get one of this. And the good part about mine is if you turn the first page, it's autographed. I'm not going to let anybody touch it, okay? Now, it's interesting that you say faith-based.
Faith-made. Yeah. Which is faith-based, but faith-made.
Faith-made.
Yeah. Not self.
So what does that really mean?
Well, oftentimes people think that, you know, I'm a self-made guy. They want to take the credit for it. Or sometimes even the better entrepreneurs that say that I'm a teammate. To me, I give all credit to God. You know, I have faith in being able to extend my prayers out and have God answer my prayers. Because as an entrepreneur, as you may not know, when you don't know how to pay the bills, you don't know how to make payroll, you know, find customers and clients, you're like, oh, Lord, how am I going to do this? God has a funny way of answering your prayers.
Oh, yeah.
And there's certain things in my life that should have not gotten me to this position. I don't deserve this life.
Faith made.
Only through God, and only through following faith am I here. Because religion divides people, but faith builds people.
So mindset, morals, and money.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
That's it.
Mindset.
It's a book of self-reflection. So I had a horrible credit score. I was a single father of 3 kids. So the book shows, you know, the difficulties of my journey. Because oftentimes people think the way that you see the way you are today is how you've always been your entire life. Not in my case. And so
do you think God did that so he
100%. That's why it's faith made.
Make you better, huh?
Yeah. And by the way, God has a calling for were you watching this? You, everybody here, everybody watching this, whether live or replay, God's got a special purpose and a dream and a vision and a way to use you for your time here on earth. All you got to do is ask, God, how am I supposed to be used? How am I supposed to be used in business? How am I supposed to be used in my job? How am I supposed to be used in this ministry? You are faith made. You don't even realize it.
If you want to get this copy, you have an opportunity. Matt, how can they do it?
You can go to Amazon, pick it up. It's there. Faith Made Millionaire is on Amazon. If you want to go to my Instagram, I'm Money Smart Guy, there's a link there to order it on Amazon. So either way, go to Instagram, Money Smart Guy, or go to Amazon, type in Faith Made Millionaire. It's an Amazon bestseller. And
number 1 bestseller on Amazon.
That's right.
Number 1.
Yeah, for a period of time, I even beat Dave Ramsey's personal finance book. Yeah.
Number 1 bestseller.
Yeah. It's self-published too, so it's not like I had a big publisher behind me.
Really?
Yeah, I just self-published it and hit print, and there it is. Hired a book coach, hired another entrepreneur, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do.
Look what
Yeah,
happened.
look what happened. That's it.
So the book is Faith Made Billionaire by Matt. And how do you say your last name?
Sapala.
And
Filipino.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. This is true. So if you can order this, let me tell you, you're going to really like it. And if you ever go to one of the meetings where Matt's there, get him to autograph it.
That's it.
And, and you know what? He didn't charge me. No, I'm not going to tell him that. He got it. But that was such an honor.
It's awesome to see guys like Andre or following those same paths too as well, and to see how he's a better man today, how he's a blessing to his community today, how he's improving, because that's what entrepreneurship calls you to do. You got to improve, and hopefully you improve with the right values and principles around you. It might not have to be from a faith-based perspective.
That's pretty. I mean, I think that means a lot. But anyway, we're coming to the end of the show, and we're going to change over to Latino style Spanish. But anyway, Matt, what an honor.
Thanks for having me.
So much.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. It's quite an honor for us. And You guys are always invited. You're,
For sure.
you're
Thank
part
you.
of the familia.
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 Raza. Okay, appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure being here.
All right. Thanks, everybody, to Andre and Matt.
Just signing off.
We're signing off. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Oh, we didn't say hi to your wife, Monica. She's
As-
oh, there she is.
Monica, speaking of which.
What
Oh,
timing? What timing?
Are we off?
Bye.